have the top position, that doesn't mean that you have the advantage necessarily, and you can see Collins trying to kick out of it and try to get back at square. At least if you're not getting back to a standing position, at least try to re-grapple again.
Right. Ben had a couple of exchanges. Thought maybe he was going to let him stand up or he was going to look to pass. He tried. Now he's throwing a little bit of elbows.
The elbows coming right in. There's a couple right between the eyes.
Right. Those little mini elbows, they're annoying, and they can open up some big shots. Ben's looking to pass.
Elbows coming in again, and you can see it taking a toll on Collins too, and knowing that he needs to get out of it. As long as he has it free, it's going to put Collins in a tough position.
Yeah, what I would like to see from Doug is if he would let go of the head and really start looking to escape. There we go. That's more of what I'm looking for. Ben's doing a good job of posturing up, looking for some punches.
Right,
Make it be a greedy fight.
Finally gets it free, goes back in again, and now here comes the Lion trying to pounce on his prey. Close to halfway through the round, and so far it's been Hollier getting the jabs in. There comes the free up from Collins, but Hollier pounces back once again.
Right. When Ben postures up, he does a really good job of putting his hips into it, making sure he has a wide base so Doug doesn't look for any trips or any sweeps. So he's doing a really good job of posturing up and opening some punches, making it difficult for Doug to even move his hips to get back up.
Every time Hollier swings, he's not only looking for connection with the hand, but he's looking for the follow-through with that right elbow, like you mentioned, Vita. That can be annoying down the stretch. Finally, Collins gets a little free. Hollier pops right back on top again, and Hollier, despite only fighting 2 weeks ago, rough and ready and looks to be in strong position, at least early on.
Right. Ben looks really strong on top. Not only has he been improving in the gym at SBG, he also works with a strength and conditioning coach named D. Michael at Rocket Armor, which is out in Meridian, and he said that's a game changer for him. Looks like he's definitely controlling the fight more on being on top, throwing mini punches.
Now Collins did get on his side like you heard the coaches wanting, so it puts him in a little bit of a better position to try to get out of this grapple and get back
now
on
he's in
top.
mount.
He
Now he's
can't
in
do
mount.
it again, and now Hollier goes with a big right hand, and now we're starting to see the sense of urgency coming later in the round.
Yes, yes. Doug knows he doesn't want him to be on mount. That could be dangerous for him on bottom. So he does a really good job of just making sure he's keeping him there. You hear them that they're saying elbows, even on bottom. Ben's looking to throw some punches, some more elbows on top.
Here come the elbows again coming from Hollier. The legs of Collins wrapped around Hollier's back. Now if he can push the arms out, maybe reverse that into a triangle choke, that'd be a good way to get out of it. 35 seconds left in the round.
Right, what Doug wants to set something up. He has to put his feet on his hips to elevate him to get up. Right there, he has 1 foot on the hip. Ben's doing a good job of passing.
Get a little
He's
freer
staying
now. Here
active
comes the
on bottom.
reversal. Collins getting some right elbows in, and now here comes the reversal. Collins trying to late in the round get out of it. He's still on the bottom, but has gotten a couple shots right to Hollier's head, and that could put him in a better position. Coming in late in the round, about 10 seconds left.
Ben has a couple of his own on top, but that was a great last minute. Both fighters had great exchanges. It might be on the ground, but they keep going.
And that's what you want to see if you're in Collins' corner, to see that fight back late in the round, and you can take that as momentum going into round two. Even though you were on your back most of the time, and seeing Hollier continue to throw elbows, finding a way to get out of it is going to be key for Collins, especially who's going to be working from that position.
Right. Ben did a good job of, Colin did a good, he was staying active on bottom. If you're staying active on bottom, not letting your opponent really rest there. You can't rest even if you're in guard or even in mount, because they will definitely buck you up and try to get on top. You have more urgency. You know what you got yourself into when you're in that position.
And honestly, it did look like Collins was pretty comfortable and calm that entire time, and especially spending that long on your back. It can be a little harrowing if you think about it, but his poise and composure, the fact that Yeah, he took a lot of elbows, but nothing that really hurt him in the long run.
Right. Well, round 1 was on the ground. We'll see how round 2 goes.
Can't imagine it'll try to be much different, but from Hollier's perspective, might as well keep going at the same program.
Some more striking.
Side, yeah. Now he gets underneath. Collins trying to subdue Collins again. Finally get free, and pretty good right coming from Collins there to get free of that and separate again.
Seems like Ben wants to take this fight to the ground, which is not a bad idea because he was able to accomplish that.
Now he gets that left elbow in again, and feels pretty similar to the opening round too. Hollier, the takedown on Collins, but Collins just taking his time and looking for that way out, using the cage if need be to push off.
Yes. Ben does have an advantage of the fact that he's in his corner, so having that constant coaching by your side and you're able to hear it a little bit more clear. You hear Jake telling him to stay calm, posture up. Doug still has his feet on the cage, waiting for that explosion from Doug. Can't get too complacent on bottom.
Well, they're just trying to get a regrip in some way, see if they can flip it. Collins trying to flip back and get back on his front side. Hollier not having it. Re-grapple again, and similar to the first round fight in that Hollier's trying to keep it in, but here come a couple hard elbows on Hollier by Collins, but Hollier gets back on top again.
Right, and this position is called side control. This is where you're flat, kind of like the letter T, and he's working his way to go either north-south or just to be holding and pinning him down, looking for his submissions. When you're on top, you have a lot of control, a lot of control. Doug's doing a good job of just, I would like to see him to move a little bit more, stay more active, using his legs.
See Hollier trying to get the mount again. Collins is protecting it. They go back again, and they just end up resetting here ultimately.
Right. Now he's looking to work to mount. There's where you, ideally, there's where you want to be. Little rabbit punches, settle in, rabbit punches, settle in.
There's not much that Collins is taking on that. A lot of blocks on that. Big swing and a miss by Hollier there. You can hear the call. Continue to move. Keep moving.
Yep, keep moving. They're saying to keep shrimping, and that's the term of just movement. You want to make sure you're shrimping out, staying active. He's doing well though, throwing elbows. I would just like to see him use his legs more of a frame across the belly, not letting Ben crunch him down, pinning him down, because that's what you want. You want your fighter to be flat.
And you can see Hollier continuing trying to go for that mount, and I think ultimately Collins just
looking
trying
for
to
a submission.
Get back again, and this round's been a little bit quieter compared to the first round, but we did see that flurry from Collins in the final 15 seconds of round one. That could come up in conserving the energy into round two, because ultimately Hollier's doing a lot of the work compared to Collins.
Right. He's still in his corner. And his coaches are telling him to throw some elbows. We also hear Collins' coach telling him to move. Explode. They're telling him to explode. Use that cage to your advantage.
Now, he can't grip his toes on the cage, but he can at least use it to push off and, as you mentioned, try to get out of it a little bit. And more elbows come from Hollier again, and that just continues to be just trying to wear him down by 1,000 elbows, so to speak.
Right. They might not look like they're doing a lot of damage, but like I said, they're annoying and they get frustrating, and then one will just come.
And that usually, when it does come, gives way and sometimes ends up being the knockout.
Yep, like
blow.
there it goes.
Here comes Hollier.
Now those had a little bit more heat behind those, a little bit more bad intentions.
45 seconds, and now you're starting to see it come out. The elbows connecting, the left punches connecting as well. Collins can't get out of this grapple. He continues to just stay on his back the entire time, and it's going to have to be that final 30-second flurry like we saw in the first round. Hollier comes in again, and Collins gets out of it a little bit, trying to reverse it back around.
Right. He's doing the right job. I would just like to see a little bit more urgency if he's really trying to get out. And I know it's hard, easier said than done. but you got to stay active. You can't let that fighter set in on top. Ben's doing awesome on controlling the top.
I think Collins might just be trying to wait this out till we get the horn for the end of the round, and looks like that'll be, but one big blow
right at the very end.
So we're through 2 rounds now. We've seen similar things in both rounds from Hollier and Collins. Hollier trying to get the mount on, trying to control it from on top. So heading into round 3 now, what has to change for either of these fighters as we look back at the round 2 highlights?
Well, Ben did an awesome job of taking him down and even trying to get him away from the cage at first. I noticed that in round 1. And having side control. What I would like to see more from Doug Collins is to keep the fight standing. He knows Ben's going to try to go for a takedown.
And every time Ben Hollier goes down, he throws in the elbows, he throws in more punches too, and over time, that will continue to whittle away. Even if, like you said, it's not doing much damage, boy, that is annoying to have to continually take.
Right, and when, like I said, it'll open up for that one opportunity when you're like being annoyed, and then boom. Trust me, I know. I got one in the dome.
So you're speaking from experience.
Yep, I am. Definitely, it can change it can change the fight. So you can't get complacent being on bottom. You have to have more urgency to get up, or to keep them active.
So the final round comes now, round 3, 5 minutes, and well, for Collins, he's better reverse the first 2 rounds because seemingly it looks like Hollier's in the driver's seat from a point standpoint through 2 rounds.
Yes, he was able to control him.
Oh, here it goes, and now trying to flip it around off the flying knee from Hollier. He just can't convert on the submission.
Nice head kick by Ben, and then he looks to shield.
So we go back again, Hollier on top of Collins, and Collins in a bit of a better position compared to the first 2 rounds in just finding a way to reverse it back around and gain the advantage.
Right. Ben's doing a good job of staying calm and composed, keeping his chin tucked nice and tight, holding that wrist to release some pressure. He's looking to pass.
You can see Hollier again trying to go for a mount, but now they're wrapped up, and this could go either way at this point because you figure Collins could try to work this into some kind of a choke to force himself out of it.
All right. There's some more rabbit punches. If Collins can work his underhook and get to his side, he can sweep from here or even set up his own submissions on bottom. We've seen that earlier in the amateur fights. Ben's doing what's called a spider walk. When you have your hand on the mat and you just kind of walk it up like a spider. He was doing that a little earlier because he's trying to get that leg out.
And it keeps at least your position and your strength on the mat too, to be able to not let your opponent who's down find a way back again.
Right.
Almost 2 minutes into round 3, and feels like deja vu for the first 2. Well, body shots coming in. There's an opening there for Hollins.
Back elbow. He's trying to stay active. He's really trying to get that leg out. That's what's holding him back from throwing more elbows, more shots, but he's staying active on top.
Elbows coming, and that's a hard area, and Collins leaking a little bit too, so already some of that wear and tear showing off at this point, with Hollier continuing to find ways to pound, and right now where he is, he can get either the body or open it back up for the head on the back elbow. Now midway through the final round of this first pro fight of the night.
If Ben can get his underhook on his arm, not worry so much about his legs, he's doing a good job of controlling on that top pressure. But if he can get under and keep Colin even more flat and not let him have that right underhook, it will definitely let him pass and to get into full mount. I'd like to see a little bit more urgency from Collins on bottom. He's staying calm and composed, but in the judge's eyes, that's not enough. You gotta be moving. You gotta stay active like how he was in round 1.
And he didn't have that flurry at the end of round 2, so it needs to happen here. If this is going to go the distance, you have to be able to showcase that and maybe turn this around to the final minute 50, because otherwise, Hollier's in the driver's seat.
Right, you got to take those risks. With risk, there's reward, so you have to take those risks of just exploding up, exploding to get out. Now he's on his side.
Yep, trying to squeeze back out of it, push back to get back on his belly. Hollier says no, and there comes another right elbow.
Nice. That was a nice heavy elbow. Ouch.
Yeah, that's.
He's bleeding. I think he's bleeding on bottom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
there's a lot
some blood.
coming
You can't
out
really
now.
tell from this angle, but yeah, I can.
Oh, more hard right elbows coming to the head of Collins.
You can want to circle those hips towards the head. If Ben can keep working and circling his hips towards his health, maybe even get to north-south position.
Call to move. Got to do something, as right now Hollier is open season and getting right hands in, whether it's the hand, the elbow. Right now Collins can't shield it, but he's trying to get back out and use his hips to get back up again. 50 seconds left. It's go time for Collins if he wants to have a chance on a technicality.
You don't want to be resting there. Right now is not a time to rest. You have 40 seconds. If he can get his legs in there more, have a nice frame.
Ooh,
you can hear those.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you hear that? Yeah, you can hear those.
It's not just on the mat, but it's also the sound of him breathing every time there's a connection there. 20 seconds left. Hollier continues to get in.
Yep.
Collins tries to get out of it. Hollier back on top again. Now Collins answers back with 10 seconds with a little last gas flurry here.
You hear the 10-second call. And Ben's just throwing a bunch of mini baby elbows, punches,
now
making
Collins
it be
goes
a
back
greedy
defensive.
fight.
Hollier finishes on top where he started. And so this first pro fight goes the difference. And we're going to have to see the scoring from the judges, but ultimately, Vita, if I'm looking at it based on what I saw throughout the fight, it does look like that Hollier had the advantage all 3 rounds.
Yes, here you see Ben look for his takedown, staying calm and composed. Doug did a good job. He was knowing that Ben was going to go for a takedown. Went for a hip choke. Oh, let's see. Now you see some elbows, some back elbows.
And this is that point in round 3 where Collins in a weird spot where he was getting hit on the head by an elbow, but then getting gut punches as well on the other side. He just couldn't find a way to reverse back out of that, and it seemed to be half the round where he kind of sat in this position, and unfortunately for him, he spent basically the entire fight just on his back trying to fight back off again from Ben Hollier's advances.
Right. Right, both fighters did a really good job. That was a good fight for Colin as far as being his pro debut. Just unfortunately, you know, it didn't go his way, but hey, Ben dominated, and like he said, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, and he showed that tonight.
And it's that experience, even if it was 2 weeks ago, his last bout, that he's got the experience to showcase for it and has been in this scenario previous times, so he can use it to his advantage, and having the home crowd also on top of that too. That surely helps from an athlete standpoint. I know you and I both know that in different capacities, but that's a huge thing. When you have that home crowd, when you're working in that way, and you know basically what your plan of attack is from the first bell, it seemed like Hollier had advantage starting out in the fight, and he controlled most of that fight.
Yep, I have to agree with you.
So all we're waiting for at this point is just the official scoring, because this will go down as a decision. And pretty good billing, too, to have the first pro fight of the night go the full 15-minute span instead of having it end, you know, the first round, second round. But a very good technical fight from both sides. Again, Collins only had 1 fight in his amateur record making his debut. Hollier 2-0, trying to stay perfect at 3-0 and have all 3 wins that he's had come in 2019. His first fight as a pro, March 30th at Mountain Force MMA 9. He won that one. That was a TKO. His last fight was an armbar. So all 3 were different decisions for him. And so
he's unpredictable. That's a good thing. That's a good thing in martial arts, is to be unpredictable, because your opponent will never be able to prepare for you.
With that, we'll turn things down inside the cage. Britt Talbert has the official results.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we go to the judges' scorecards, how about one more round of applause for our professionals here tonight, please? One more round of applause. And we will move to the judges' scorecards. Judge Scott Marker scores about 30-26. Judge Blas Martinez also scores us about 30-26. Judge Tim Turner scores about 30-25. For our winner by way of unanimous decision, fighting out of the red corner, Ben the Lion Hollier. All right, Ben, now time for the press conference. 3 rounds, you went the distance. Maybe not super flashy, but a lot of battle there.
It doesn't always have to be pretty. You know, I got the job done and was dominant the whole fight. There wasn't, you know, too many mistakes. It's a fight, so you're going to get hit, and that's part of the deal. But besides that, I came in, I took down, and I elbowed and elbowed and elbowed.
You don't get here without a lot of help from teammates and everybody else. Who do you want to thank here tonight, Ben?
I just want to thank everybody from SPG Idaho that's in here tonight. Make some noise!
All right, got to ask you, Ben, what's next? What are your plans? I know that it's over now. You've had a chance maybe to look ahead or think ahead. What are your thoughts? What's next?
Well, I took this fight on 2 weeks' notice, so get with my coaches, get with my team, and back to the drawing board and back to getting better.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's now 3-0 as a pro. It's the Lion, Ben Hollier.
Quite an impressive feat on 2 weeks' notice to come in and get that result going the distance tonight. Coming up, we have a rematch 7 years in the making. Kerry the Batterer Latimer and Daryl Flores collide in a lightweight matchup.